A cab company has computed its mean fare to be $35 with a standard deviation of $4.30. All right, so this is where we're dealing with the empirical rule. Anytime you start seeing a 68, a 95, and a 99.7, you are doing the empirical rule. Let's see if I can draw a normal curve that doesn't look so sad. Okay, doesn't look too bad. All right, so we start out with our mean directly in the middle, $35. Now let's talk about how our standard deviation appears right along the side here. So we've got 1 standard deviation of the mean, 2 standard deviations of the mean, 3 standard deviations of the mean. So in my calculator, I do something called home screen recursion. So I start out with this 35 and I press enter. And since I want to know the ones that are below the mean, the standard deviations below, I'm going to do minus 4.3. I'm going to hit enter 3 times. It's going to give me my 3 values that are 1 standard deviation from the mean, 2 standard deviations from the mean, and 3 standard deviations from the mean. Your calculator has the ability to do this. It can keep on subtracting forever if you want it to, but I don't want it to. All right, so my numbers, see if I can make it look neat. I don't think so. I'm not capable. 30.7 D, if we want to put change together, 26.40, and 22.1. So again, this one goes with the 99.7%. This is 2 standard deviations, so it goes with the 95%. And this one, of course, is the 68%, the 1 standard deviation from the mean. So with empirical rule, it pays for you to remember that 68% of the data falls within 1 standard deviation of the mean. 95% of the data falls within 2 standard deviations of the mean. This is what we call the usual within 2 standard deviations. And then we have the rare, 99.7% data falls within 3 standard deviations of the mean. All right, so we've got the lower. Now to get the upper, do the same thing. 35, press enter, and then add 4.3 and hit enter 3 times. It'll keep adding 3.3 to the number. Or you could use the formula, which says mean plus 2 standard deviations, 1 standard deviation, 3 standard deviations of the mean. Let's use our calculator values to our advantage and go for it. So we've got 39.30, 43.6, and 47.9. So let's see the question. Approximately 68% of the data, which would be everything right here. This is 68% in a nutshell. Falls between which numbers? 30.70 and 39.30. Approximately what percentage falls between 2640 and 2360? That would be 95%. And of course, the last number is the 99.7%. And that leaves us with 0.15 here and 0.15 on the other side for the 4 standard deviations of the mean. But usually we cover it all and we can do it. Almost done. Number 15. A bottle holds 64 fluid ounces of lemonade. I love lemonade, so 64 ounces. How many pints is this? Very rarely do we see pints on the side, we do see ounces. So let's look at what we know here. There are 8 ounces in a cup. Now I can cancel out my ounces. So now I have cups. And then there are 2 cups in a pint. Now I can cancel out my cups. Now what do I want? I want to know how many pints there are. Now all these numbers and these unit fractions, we multiply across the top. That gives us 64 on the top. And on the bottom we get 16, and the only unit left is a pint. 16 will go into 64, 4, so that's 4 pints. That's how you use a unit fraction. So whatever you start with, that's what's in the lower corner and that you can cross out. And then whatever needs to go up above, cross it out. All right, last one here. We're looking at the drama club, trying to choose some plays. We're using the head-to-head criterion initially, and then we're going to use something else. Let's find out. These are the three plays: Pygmalion, Tartuffe, and Hamlet. These are Shakespearean and some Greek tragedies. Now, the drama club plans to use plurality. Plurality is just who got the most first place votes. So I'm going to go ahead and get ready for the first place votes for the parody. We're just looking at that part just to compare them. Now, usually when we're using just plurality, they want to make sure that, everything's fair. So the head-to-head criterion allows you to use pairwise comparisons to compare 2 out of the 3 things together to see who would win, just looking at the most, who's got the most votes for each column. So let's do head-to-head comparisons. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to compare Pygmalion, and let's compare it to Tartuffe. So I'm going to cover up Hamlet every chance I get. I only want to compare Pygmalion and Tartuffe. So Hamlet's got to go out of sight, out of mind. All right, so I'm going to highlight what we've got for Pygmalion. Pygmalion is got 8 votes here, 10 votes there, and 6 votes here. So when we add this together, let's see what we get. 8 plus 10 is 18. 18 plus 6 is 24. Okay. Now let's look at Tartuffe. Tartuffe has 7. 13 makes 20. Plus 9 makes 29. Tartuffe has more, so that means Tartuffe gets 1 point. Good for Tartuffe. All right, now let's compare Pygmalion and Hamlet. So Tartuffe has to get covered. So we compare Pygmalion and Hamlet. All right, so this is Pygmalion versus Hamlet. All right, Pygmalion has 8 plus 7 plus 6. That's 21 points. Hamlet's got 10 plus 13. That's already 23. Plus 9, 32 points. So Hamlet gets a point. Pygmalion is out. Nobody wants to watch that one. They don't know a lot about Greek tragedy. It's a pretty good story. All right, then we want to compare Tartuffe and Hamlet. So we're covering up Pygmalion. At least I hope we are. It looks like I'm moving the problem around. There we go. All right, so let's compare Tartuffe versus Hamlet. And you just calculate the votes. So in this column, Tartuffe's on the top, so he gets 8, then 7, and then 13. So Tartuffe has 28 points here. Let's see what Hamlet's got. Hamlet has 10 plus 6 is 16 plus 9 is 25. So that means Tartuffe gets another point. So Tartuffe has 2 points and Hamlet has 1, so Tartuffe is the winner in all the head-to-head comparisons. So Tartuffe wins. Now let's look at this. Suppose plurality was used to determine the winner. So now I've got all the first choice votes, because plurality means who got the most votes. So Pygmalion got 8 plus 6. I'm just going to write them out instead of pointing to them. So Pygmalion got 14 points. Tartuffe got 7 plus 13, which is 20. I'm getting ready to put the answer. 7 plus 13, which is 20. And of course, last but not least, Hamlet got 10 plus 9, or 19 votes. So who won according to plurality? Tartuffe, because they got the most. If ever there was a tie, then it would just be a tie, but we've got Tartuffe. Did the results violate the head-to-head criterion? Yes, the play that won every head-to-head comparison was not chosen. That's not true. I'm going to say no. The play that won the head-to-head comparison, which was Tartuffe, also won the plurality choice. Who got the most votes? So no, it does not violate head-to-head. All right, I hope that this was helpful. If you need any additional help, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm happy to help you. Good luck on your finals.